All right, so breaking down the showdown slate between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Los Angeles Chargers. Starting with the preview, Vegas does think that this game is going to be close, okay? 2.5 point difference in favor of the Chargers winning, and the over and under is set at 47.5, which on the wild card weekend is going to be the second highest projected game. So with that, we're kind of seeing that this game is projected to be a little bit more of a higher scoring game. Showdown wise, we can kind of approach it that way. Maybe we're not playing two defenses and some kickers, so maybe we can hope for some more scoring. So right off the bat, and if you guys watched my Saturday core plays video already, you would know that I kind of said, hey, this is very much a slate with how it's breaking down that I kind of just want to play either Austin Eckler or Justin Herbert. Okay, I'm not sure that's exactly the approach that we need to go with on the showdown side. I feel like it's a little bit different because, we're trying to get some raw points. Okay, so I think Austin Eckler can still get to 15 plus DK points, especially with Mike Williams out. Okay, I think that's going to benefit him a little bit. Like he should get a few more targets in the passing game. It's not going to be as drastic as it was when, Keenan Allen was out, when he was seeing like 10 targets a game here and there. It's not going to be that, but if he can get a couple more targets his way with Mike Williams out, that definitely would benefit him. But at the same time, we can see like they have been two players that have ate into each other's production a little bit. So in terms of paying up for a stud, I might maybe just go with the cheaper of the two. We'll see. Obviously, as the lineup process goes about, we'll be able to figure out if we need to play both of them. Obviously, we want to, but we'll figure out if we can. Because I do really think starting out with Keenan Allen is definitely the approach to go with. The question is, do we need to play Keenan Allen in the captain spot or not? I don't know if we need to. We have some decent receiver value that we could potentially put into the captain spot tonight, or for the slate, that really would make it easier to fit more studs into your builds. And really you're just banking on one of those cheaper receiver plays to score a touchdown. So the first cheap receiver play that I'd be referring to would be Josh Palmer. Obviously with Mike Williams out, Josh Palmer could step into a bigger role and some more snaps. Like he probably is going to get about 80% of the snaps, probably going to see about 6 to 7, maybe 8 targets. And the question is, can he do enough with that? Can he get 6 receptions for 70 yards, maybe a touchdown? I think so. I don't mind that approach. Certainly within the realm of possibilities, a strong, safe, cheap captain play. At the same time, someone like DeAndre Carter is kind of catching my eye as well. Remember, he did have a few, and this is for GPP onlys, he did have a few big games throughout the season when Keenan Allen was out, okay, and he was on the field a decent amount. So I would say maybe he's going to get 50% of the snaps, and if he can get that, it wouldn't be shocking to see him, catch a big long play. You're banking on a lucky play if you play him in the captain spot because he isn't cheap enough to the point where it's like a must play where we're just like happy to get the raw points. No, he needs to break a big play pretty much to hit value. And Gerald Everett, like I'm fine with as a play. I don't feel like we need to go out of our way to play him. At the same time, could he break the slate? He could. Like he's just an okay play. So let's go ahead and just put in like the 3 to 4 Chargers players that we want. And I would say it's those 4 that we want. It's pretty simple. And then you could also toss in Carter if you choose to do so. Now getting into the Jacksonville side of the football, the biggest question mark that we need answered is what to do with Travis Etienne. I am more on the fence of fading him, which could easily just blow up in my face. I know that, the Chargers rush defense has been pretty terrible. Okay. And it wouldn't be shocking to see him go off for 100 rushing yards or get 100 total purpose yards. Okay, in the first game, he did struggle against that. So there is that worry. Remember, James Robinson was there, though. It's just we've seen mixed results with him late, okay? Did pretty well against the Jets, and the previous 2 games did really well. So, yes, I would say most likely going to do well. Do I prioritize him over the Chargers players? And that's where I'm struggling. I don't. And so do I think he's probably going to be a better play than Trevor Lawrence? That's also a big question mark. Like Trevor Lawrence has just been so inconsistent this season, both like throw to quarter to quarter, half to half, game to game. It's been so inconsistent that it's tough to trust him. Like we know he would be a good GPP play. Okay. We know in week 3, and this is week 3, like these teams are different teams. He did go off. He had 3 touchdowns. Okay. So like he certainly could go off. Okay. I just am swaying towards the Chargers being the correct play. Thus, that would suggest that Trevor Lawrence is going to struggle like he has the last 2 games. From there, Zay Jones is definitely like a GPP only play, priced up enough. Like, can he go out and break his slate? Sure, he can. I mean, we have seen him have these big pop-up games. Like, those are not shocking. It's just, it's not consistent. And obviously, he did go off against the Chargers in week 2 as well. That was his first big game, but it's really just, it's hit or miss. It's really where they see the weakness and which matchup they want to favor the most. And so honestly, I like the price point of Marvin Jones, kind of just the best. It just 2.6 is such a cheap price tag for him, for a guy that has been on the field a lot, for a guy that, if you're just trying to target raw points, has been able to give you that. a decent amount of the times thus far this season. You look at the first game against the Chargers, he also had a good game. 7 targets, 13.3 DK points. Just not a terrible play. The targets are going to be there. It's really dependent on how Trevor Lawrence plays. So if you think Trevor Lawrence is going to play well, then Marvin Jones is a play that makes sense. If you think Trevor Lawrence is still going to be inconsistent, then Marvin Jones isn't a great play, but he does open up a decent amount. And now looking at like Christian Kirk, yes, if we can afford to fit Christian Kirk into our build, I would want to do that. Had 2 touchdowns against the Chargers. Had a little bit of a drop in production, especially at the tail end of the season. But he is someone that is just on the field so much, and he should get targeted around 8 times. Like, I would rather play Christian Kirk and chase his upside, which sounds weird given the matchup, than I would Travis Etienne. I'm not saying Travis Etienne's a bad play. I'm just saying I don't like the price tag. And this is the issue that we are having on the slate right here, is that we are left at kind of just a weird price point. So maybe we put Josh Palmer in the captain spot and then just try to get lucky with Zay Jones. Like, I don't mind that approach. And there is some logic behind this build. It's like saying, all right, the top 2, and you could argue maybe Evan Ingram as well, pass catchers are going to struggle. Thus, Zay Jones and Marvin Jones are going to be good plays. The issue with this showdown slate is that we are going to have to fade, maybe 2 really good plays. Okay. You can't fit Trevor Lawrence. You can't fit Travis Etienne and Christian Kirk into your same builds. And I would say it doesn't really make sense to play Christian Kirk and Travis Etienne together. So there are some decisions to make. And that's kind of why I've been defaulting to the Chargers, who are much more easy to predict on paper. But that's all I have for this video. As a whole, like, yes, it's going to be a fun slate to play and to watch. And I do think we can get unique with our lineups. Like, I'll probably end up building probably 10 or so lineups, probably 6 of them will favor the Chargers, and then the rest will probably favor the Jaguars a little bit more. And I think that'd be the approach to go with. Like, definitely fit. And that's my way of saying, like, 60% Chargers builds and 40% Jaguars. Like, that's the approach that I think I'll go with on the slate. Whether that's right or not, we'll see. But that's all I have for you guys for this video. Hopefully you guys have a good slate. Let's have a good one. And as always, let's keep cashing, guys.